How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. For people that don't realize, we're in Los Angeles right now, and literally yesterday, you were on set in India filming part 2. What were you filming yesterday, and what is it like to just jump on a plane and fly around the world?
Well, I won't lie. It is a bit hard and daunting, but when moments like this and films like this come very rarely in a person's life, and when you're so proud of something and you're so inspired, you do want to travel the world and try and pass on the message that this film is coming out and what the movie is about. So yes, it is tiring, but I think the immense faith and intention that we have behind making this film, I think that just pulls us all together.
Sure. What were you filming? What can you tease what you were filming on set?
We're already halfway down filming part 2, at least my portions. So yeah, it's even more exciting than what you guys have seen.
Sure, I won't pressure you anymore. I like asking a few fun questions sometimes to actors, and this is my fun question for you. Have you ever asked for someone's autograph?
Absolutely. Much like yourself, I'm a big geek of movies. I've been watching a film a day since the last 35 years. Apart from my local heroes where I grew up in India, whenever I've traveled, I've been shooed away by Natalie Portman. Quentin Tarantino has shown me the finger. I met Bill Murray. I've stood outside. Al Pacino was doing a reading of Salome on Broadway. I was a student at that time, and I've stood outside for 3 hours, just to get a shout out from him. Met De Niro in India. All these are my screen idols, and just to meet them and has given me immense joy.
Well, I am curious though, coming as a fan, how much has that sort of impacted when you're meeting your fans? How much has it sort of changed you knowing that you've been in that other side where you've stood in line for 3 hours wanting to meet someone and you have a lot of fans? So does that play like a little factor with you?
Absolutely not. I think I feel a lot of gratitude. Sometimes it's disbelief, all of these people, want to take my autograph or click a picture with me. Also, I come from a film family. I'm 4th generation, so my family has been contributing to Indian cinema for close to 100 years. So I've seen that around me while growing up. I've seen people with immense success, even with immense failure. And I think that really balanced me out very early on. So I don't get swayed by success or get disheartened by failure.
So a lot of people in America who are going to be watching this interview won't actually know the story, won't know much about the history. What can you tease people about the movie? Why does it mean so much to you and so many people around the world?
Well, it is the greatest epic to come from my country, India. Apart from the entertainment and every emotion that it will give you, there's a lot of life lessons that you can take from a film like Ramayana and the characters. And I'm extremely excited that, the West or the entire world and the entire global audience will get to sample, this story.
One of the things about being the main character in a movie like this is it has to, as an actor, be very daunting. And it also has to be that your whole career has led to this moment. So I am curious, what is it like for you? What was it like for you in the months leading up to that first day of filming to get your head around what you'd be doing mentally and physically?
I think, Steve, it was if I can go back a year before filming is when I felt the jitters, when there was a lot of fear. But I think by the time it was a month before filming, I felt so much of gratitude to get this opportunity. It was a blessing of Lord Ram that I got to play this. Not to really, nobody can represent him, but to actually try and have to surrender myself to his to the character that I played. A month before, if I can remember, I was chasing the director, Nitesh sir, to kind of just try to take as much as I can about the story, about the journey of Ram, because it's limitless, right? There is not just a definite, this is it and this is what you play. So I think really to truly surrender to the part, to make certain sacrifices about your life, make certain changes, to really feel close to, what you're trying to engage the audience with. I think all that, by a month before shoot, I was all that.
So one of the things in the new trailer that will be out by the time people watch this, there's a shot of you swinging on a branch with a creature, and it reminded me a little bit of Legolas in Lord of the Rings. It was just this massive spectacle. So what can you tease people in terms of some of the spectacle and the cool things that you do in these movies?
Like you said, Steve, it's nothing less than Lord of the Rings. It's our greatest epic spectacle coming from our country. And this was just a teaser. We have 6 hours of, epic visuals and epic action sequences, emotions. It teaches you to be a better son, a better husband, a better brother. It's the triumph of good over evil. There is so many different layers of storytelling happening with this film that I'm really excited for people to sample it.
So there is significant buzz about you playing both Lord Rama and Parashuram. How are you using your body language and voice to differentiate between the two distinct divine entities, one representing calm and the other righteous fury?
Well, you've done your homework pretty well. Just to give you a backstory, Lord Vishnu had different avatars. Lord Ram is one avatar, and Lord Parshuram was an avatar before Lord Ram. And just to get the opportunity, how I got to play Lord Ram, to also play Lord Parshuram was fantastic. I think as an actor, apart from body language, I think if you deeply understand the spirituality, the emotionality of characters, I think everything starts from there. And I think that's what I did that year leading to the shoot of Ramayana, is to really understand who these people are, who these characters are, what they stand for, what their motives are, and then everything becomes easier.
Every generation has their Rama. How do you detach yourself from those legendary benchmarks to ensure your version feels fresh without being disrespectful to the core sentiment?
Like I said, it's a responsibility. It's a responsibility that you're carrying on your shoulders because, like I mentioned earlier, you can't really play him. You are representing, you're telling your version of as an actor, or your version of Lord Ram. So the responsibility, the intention, the faith, and the belief that I have as an actor, I have as an Indian, towards this story, towards Lord Ram, I think that's where it all begins.
So Rama is often described as like the ideal man. After living in this character's skin for so long, what is the one quality of Rama that is actually rubbed off on you, the person?
I think the leading qualities which really stand out to me, apart from all of that there is how his compassion, his courage, his ability to forgive, and righteousness. When there is a saying in our scriptures, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshata, which translates to Dharma protects those who uphold it. And I think that's something that really stayed with me.
You've been working in Indian cinema for decades. How have you seen Indian cinema change over the last 20 years? And I'm curious if, with the success of RRR in America, how much that maybe opened the Western audiences for Indian cinema, in your perspective.
Yes, of course, RRR made a huge impact, which was 2 years back. But I think I've always, believed that a good story really translates and travels, irrespective of language, which could be a barrier. And I think Indian cinema has been a leading nation to make cinema. My grandfather's films, which were in 1950s, traveled to Russia, to Japan, to different parts of the world. And I think with every generation, we are taking giant steps, where a larger audience is sampling our movies and giving respect to our cinema. And I think with Ramayana, the intention is to really, take Indian cinema, take a giant leap and, really make a larger audience sample our movies.
One of the things about people don't realize the long hours to make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And making one movie is an immense challenge, but you're filming two, I believe, back to back. What is it like for you to sort of maintain that stamina and energy when it's such a long production?
I think, Stevie, again, it goes back to faith and belief, because you believe in it. The intention of all the makers, the cast and crew is so positive, and everybody has this fervor and energy to tell the story in the best way possible. And I think that's something which really keeps us going. The story, where the story starts and where it continues to go. It's a very exciting, it's a very exciting narrative for an actor just to be part of that.
I am so curious, what was it actually like for you reading the script for the first time? Because it's one thing to hear what you're going to do. It's another thing to actually read that script. What was something that like you couldn't believe was on the page? What was something that made you, oh my God, how are we going to film this?
Yeah, so it was a journey, because when Namit offered me this part, he didn't narrate the script to me. He just said that, listen, I'm making this film, and what do you feel about playing Lord Ram? And out of fear, my instant reaction was, no, I can't do it. I'm not fit enough for it. But then over a period of time, Namit took me through his vision and what he was doing with the film. And then when I met Nitesh sir and he narrated the story to me, it was, I mean, I could not thank my stars, that I was in the right place at the right time, getting the opportunity to be part of a film like this, to play Lord Ram. I still have to pinch myself to understand that, I am playing Lord Ram. And that's something which is probably a big turning point in my life and career.
Well, I'm just about done, I promise. But I just want to bring up the IMAX of it all. I can't wait to watch this in IMAX. It's my favorite format for the big screen experience. And more audiences around the world now understand what IMAX means. So can you sort of talk about why you're going to want to see this in IMAX and what it was like making a movie that's going to be on these massive, massive screens?
I guess when you're telling such epic stories, which are such big scale event films, like this is probably one of the biggest IMAXs I've ever seen in my life.
We should mention we're in the AMC Burbank 16.
AMC Burbank.
And this is one of James Cameron's favorite theaters.
And it just blew my mind. Everything just looks, it's like you're immersed. You're like in there. And Ramayana is a story that should be sampled in IMAX, and that's where you really feel the experience of the movie.
I swear this is just about done. Speaking of movie theaters, I love seeing movies in movie theaters. So for you, do you have a favorite movie theater?
In India?
It could be anywhere that you've been.
Yes, there is a theater in India called Gaiety Galaxy. That's where I grew up, going to watch movies. We have a system where there is a stall and a balcony. Stall is where everyone's really having a party, and like they're throwing money on the screen and they're throwing papers all over, and people in the balcony are a little bit more dignified, if I must say, looking down at all the people having fun. But my earliest memories of cinema and larger than life characters started from that place, Gaiety Galaxy.
Last question for you. Your family is essentially a royal family when it comes to cinema in India. At what point when you were growing up, or at what point in your life did you realize, actually, I think I am going to want to be an actor, or I do want to do this? Like, when did it hit you?
I think everyone in my family just took it for granted that probably he'll grow up to be an actor or a director. But growing up in a film family wasn't just like, like there was no sense of ego or, this is a very easy thing for me to do, because all the people are successful in my family because they're extremely hardworking, extremely passionate. Everybody had an individualistic approach towards their work, and that's why they were successful. And I think that's the learning I got very early in my life, that unless I don't have my own individualistic approach to my work, my own stories to tell, it'll be hard for me. So yeah, like it was amazing to just, feel the passion, to feel that energy and madness towards cinema, and that was very contagious growing up.
I mean this sincerely. I cannot wait to see the movie.
Thank you, Steve.
And we will hopefully talk more once I've seen more.
Absolutely. Thank you.